Hello, everyone. Before we get started with today's podcast episode, let's go ahead and go over some housekeeping rules. If you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, be sure to hit the follow notification button so Spotify lets you know when I release a new episode. As well, leave me a comment on what you enjoy about the podcast and give me a 5-star rating. This is how you can support my podcast. And the disclaimer is I am not a licensed psychiatrist or therapist. My suggestions and my guests are based on general knowledge and life experiences. If you're considering making significant changes or dealing with personal issues, seek and talk to a licensed mental health professional. So let's go ahead and get into today's episode. Blessed Day Reflection by Abia listeners. My name is Abia Grant, and we are here to reflect on our life journey. We will be discussing topics related to self-awareness, self-improvement, and mental health. Also, the purpose of this safe space is for us to be free to discuss the ups and downs, celebrate the wins, and talk about ways to improve the lows. So welcome to this podcast, and I hope you gain something from this time we share together. Hello everyone, how are you doing? It is your girl Abia Grant. Welcome back to another episode of Reflection by Abia. I hope that you guys are doing well and that you are having a blessed day. I am doing pretty good this week. I am happy to be back here and talking to you guys and sharing some of the things that's going on in my life. Hopefully conversation that we have today is helpful for you. I want to say more so this conversation isn't about necessarily fixing things. I think a lot of times, at least in my past episodes, I like to come on here and give you guys solutions on how to fix things in your life. This episode is not going to be like that because I think that depending on the particular scenario or what may be going on, sometimes we just don't know what to do, and a lot of times in my journey, I have faced this where I just don't know what to do. And I think a lot of times or at least me, I try to avoid those moments or avoid those feelings, but those things, do happen. And that's something that I just really wanted to speak to you guys about because if you're anything like me or, we're used to you have a problem and you fix the problem. And like I said, sometimes you just don't know how to fix the problem. Kind of feeling in that space of being uncertain and being in that space where you're stuck in trying to figure out what you need to do. An overwhelming feeling I know that I have experienced when it does happen has been tough. And I wish I could come on here and give you guys some solutions, but that's not what this episode is necessarily about. I want to talk about more of my experience just not knowing. So, as I say in my mind, I'm a fixer. Okay. I am a fixer. I am a person who I feel like if a situation happens, I should be able to fix the situation. That's just my mindset. Also, in addition to that, I like to be very much in control of the situation. I've spoken about that. Just my whole process of if something does go on, you should be able to have the answer. And sitting in that feeling of not having the answer is very overwhelming for me. Like I mentioned before, it's a very challenging type of feeling. Now, as I explained before, because in my past, Like, this is another thing. I'm the person where I always felt like I could only rely on myself. You've heard me speak about that in other episodes, because I've always, in a way, I don't know if it's an only child thing, but I've always, in a way, felt like I was alone, that nobody understands me, that nobody else can fix the situation. I'm gonna be honest with you, and it's not to, I always say it's not to offend anybody, but a lot of how I processed things as a child was, I feel like, a major factor as well too, because I felt like I had to be strong. And that ties into, for me, that ties into fixing the situation, because you couldn't let, it's like I couldn't let myself down, and I didn't want to let others down, because I never necessarily seen, well, yeah, I never necessarily seen individuals in my upbringing that wasn't able to fix the situation that they were going through. Like, I never, I guess I've never seen anyone broken. I mean, let me take that back. I've seen people broken, but it was like you got right back on the horse. I feel like it's a part of that, and just that mindset in my head where there's a lot of times I sit down and I try to understand like where it comes from. Like, part of me understands where it comes from, but a part of me is like, is this just me and my thought process? The pressure that I put on myself. I feel like it's a combination of both, of being the fixer. I've also, in my mind, think if I'm not able to fix the situation, that I'm a failure. That's always been a problem for me, and I have to be able to control the outcome. Like, I have to be able to find a solution. That's always been in my head. I can remember since very young, like, it's, and then when I'm not in control of it, it's stressful for me. I am the kind of individual, I like to think about my past, where I'm at now, like in my journey. I like to think about my past and things that have not, I want to say, attributed to who I am, but things that have happened, and I'm not necessarily saying as part of my upbringing or anything like that. Maybe the things that I've saw or what have you, that has affected the urgency of me to be able to fix whatever is going on. Like, what I feel like there's always a root. From that root grows different outcomes. So what was the root cause of me feeling this way? And for me, I kind of mentioned this earlier, is that I feel like this ties into my personal identity about myself. I feel like I am tasked, like, in my life, that I'm tasked with, you're the one who keeps it together for the sake of keeping it together. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's like, have you ever feel like you're the one who have to hold all the pieces together? Like, maybe that you've experienced that, but that's how it feels for me. I have all the marbles in my hand and I can't let any of them drop. I had to be able to say, okay, if life throws me this is what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into Reflection by Abia. Feel free to check out the podcast Facebook and Instagram page. The links will be available in the show notes. Let's get back to the podcast. There's been many times in my journey where I just felt I don't know what to do, and I feel guilty about I don't know what I need to do. And yeah, that's just that's been what I realized one of the catalysts, or that has affected just how I move as an adult and what I allow in, what I allow for people to do for me, or what I allow for me, or the blame that I put on myself for not being able to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. Like I said, I've also been the person who in my mind, I feel like no one else can fix it but me, or no one else can do it right but me. Like, being able to let go of the reins and have somebody else step in has always been problematic for me. And obviously that ties into my sense of control, because I feel like I know best. That has affected relationships, because it's like, no, we're going to do X, Y, and Z because that's the right way to do it. The way that you want to do it is not going to work. Okay? That's how it has affected my relationships. I want to say, just like within myself, it's kind of like that turmoil of, if I made a decision to do a certain thing and that outcome wasn't beneficial, it's the blame game in my mind of, why did you not think about this? And that's just me. That's just like, a part of me wants to acknowledge it in regards into, like, that's me, but at the same time, I'm just trying to figure out if that is just a trait, like a learned trait. And I'm still trying to get there in understanding more of what that is, or labeling it. Maybe, I don't know if I even should label it. Like, maybe it's not important. Maybe it is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. So, where am I today? Okay. Like I said, I can sit here and I can tell you all the possible solutions of, don't beat yourself up about it. I'll be honest with you. When you are a person who likes to be the fixer or likes to be controlled, this is very difficult not to beat yourself up about it. I believe that's what I said before. I can tell you, talk to somebody about it, but you may not. Or even you talking about it may not even help. Maybe you don't even want to talk about it, so you just keep it in, because I know that I have done that in the past. I can tell you journal. I can tell you so many things. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really don't know. I really don't have an answer to this. Like, for me, I'm just taking it one day at a time. Like, I'm trying to not put that pressure on myself, because I know that I tend to do that. I guess maybe I don't know. I don't think that's necessary. I think that's just me taking care of me. I don't think that's necessarily a solution. I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. Like I said, I could share a whole list of options on things to fix and all the rest of that. But I'll be clear with you. I don't know. Like, I don't know, because this is something that I have consistently dealt with, for a very, very, very long time. And what I've realized, and probably what you've realized on your own journey, is that it takes time to fix things. And I know for me, when I don't know and I'm trying to fix a situation, but I don't really have the answer, it's just, I try to use some solutions. I try to apply what I think may work, and it just, it doesn't. I gotta, I feel like for me, I gotta just let things work out. Like, not even necessarily work out. I just have to allow things to travel, or it falls to whatever it needs to be. Like, I don't know if it makes any sense. Like, the process just continues until an outcome comes, whatever that outcome may be. So, like I said, I think we're so quick to find the answer, and we want that answer right now. But maybe it's just no answer right now. Maybe there won't be an answer ever. Maybe it just is what it is. And I think that I need to work better at, I know I need to work better at not feeling like a failure, and when I'm faced with these type of situations, because in my mind, I know I'm not a failure, but when things happen and I don't have the solution, I feel like a failure. Like I said, it's just the weight that I put on myself, and how I treat how I treat myself. It's like I have to punish myself almost, because I don't have the answer. It's I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's one of the, like, talking to you guys is like, dang. I didn't even jot that down because, I always like to have notes for the episode, but processing that with you guys is like, whoa, that's what I do. So I guess I need to think about that. Why do I want to punish myself? All right. So I also think that we need to stop trying to be the strong one. As I mentioned before, stop trying to be the fixer. Um, it's okay to not be the planner. It's okay to not do that. And that's where I don't necessarily think this is fixing the situation, but I need to let go of that pressure that I put on me. So I guess you can say that's kind of where I'm at right now. Where I'm at today is just being in whatever it may be. So I try to just step out, not having a plan, not being in control of it, which is very difficult for me. And where I'm at, I guess you could say, is understanding that sometimes I just don't know what to do. And for now, I feel like sometimes we just need to accept the fact that is what it is, and be in that moment and let it just manifest or grow or do whatever, that needs to be done. And I'm not telling people to ignore. It's not, I feel like ignore is a different factor. That's not what I'm saying to do. I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying that maybe you just need to sit in whatever place that you are sitting in And maybe in that moment you'll find some solutions, or maybe no solution is the best solution. Who knows? Depending on your circumstances. So guys, that is where I'm going to leave this week's podcast episode. Like I said, I'm not here this week. I'm not here to give you guys. I can't give you advice when I'm still trying to figure out me in this part of my journey. But I wanted to do this episode to just show that you're not alone. Like, if you're feeling like this, that you're not alone in it. Because like I said, a lot of times I have felt alone. But being able to find resources, or listen to people or watch people, have those same feelings as me, has allowed me to better process why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. So I wanted to do that for you guys, just show that it's okay. Like, we have a lot of things that, is tough in our life, and you're not alone in that, in those thoughts. All right, guys. So I'm going to leave the podcast episode here. Stay blessed out there in those streets. Make sure that you treat others kindly out there in those streets. And God willing, I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Reflection by Abia. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about today's episode, and share the podcast with your friends and family. The link will be available in the show notes.